Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tells podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always on my co-host,
Karen.
And we are here to see what's shaking on this Tuesday. Gonna probably be another quick episode. Well, quick for us, long for anyone else. You can find us everywhere you find podcasts. Search the Black Guy Who Tells podcast. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple. We love those. We admire those. We smile when we see them. We read them every Saturday. The official weapon of the show is
the folding chair,
and the unofficial sport,
bullet ball
and bullet ball extreme. Today's show, why the hell not? Why not glorious gifts? Okay, we are giving glorious gifts a gift of their own. We're reading another live read for them. Go to gloriousgiftsgalore.com. Use code TBGWT. You can get 10% off. What do they have there? Everything. And it's coming from a Black-owned, family-owned business. The best kept secret in Clayton County, Georgia.
Yes, Georgia. And if you live in the area, y'all check them out. And I went to the website and they have a lot of stuff that could be shipped. So if you're not in the area, you can still order a lot of wonderful and beautiful things.
If you live in the area, you can use DoorDash. You can go pick it up yourself. You can get local delivery. If you don't, they ship nationwide. Go on their website, gourmet gift baskets, make excellent Secret Santa, white elephant gifts. I love Secret Santa. Why? What's my secret? The secret is I cheat. Okay. They say, oh, it's just, we're not going to do nothing big. We just giving gag gifts. The ultimate gag is to make everybody at your office gag when they be like, oh my God, who got this dope gift? And then they watch them steal it from each other. Watch them
fight
be
each
jealous,
other, argue with each other.
Watch them be mad at you. Why you get the good gift? You know, I just got people dollar store candy. Oh, well, that's too bad. I'm sorry. I'm an amazing coworker that everyone loves.
Right.
I say you go to Glorious Gifts. I say you keep it for yourself even. Don't even go to work with it. But you go to Glorious Gifts and you don't have to worry about letting people down this holiday season. So use code TBGWT. Make sure you order by the 15th. That's 3 days. I wouldn't cut it that close if I was you, but I'm just saying.
I wouldn't either.
If you wanted to get here by Christmas, then you got 3 days. If not, then tell them Happy New Year's. I'm celebrating Kwanzaa or something. I don't know what y'all gonna do if you missed the deadline, but I'm just trying to help you out.
I'm trying to help you out. So with a Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas combined.
The link and the code is in the show notes as always, so make sure you do that. All right, gloriousgiftsgalore.com, code TBGWT. Karen, are you ready to get into the show?
Yes.
All right. Do you have banter?
I actually do. I came prepared today.
All right. Well, let me play some music. And then we can do the banter real quick. Okay, Karen, shoot that banter.
All right, you got something too?
You go first.
Okay, I go, then you go, then I go, then you go. I guess that's what we've been doing.
Sure.
Sometimes I forget that I'm a loud person. I'm an only child. So a lot of times I don't realize how loud I am. And periodically I'll wake Roger up in the morning, not realizing that I'll wake him up because of just my noise. I'm just a heavy-handed, loud person. Even when I was going to the office, I would be talking on the phone and I would put the phone down, and periodically somebody would ask me, am I okay or was I angry? And I'd be like, no. They'd be like, you slammed the shit out of that phone. So I was like, oh, I got to realize that I am louder than I think I am.
That is true. That is true.
And I don't mean meaning to wake up. I feel so bad waking you up because I don't realize I'm so loud.
It's okay. I know you really do mean to do it.
I don't.
It's jealousy because I get to sleep in and it's like, oh, subconsciously, let me wake him up so I can ruin his day. It's fine.
No.
You can't help it. It's fine. Everybody does this in every relationship.
I've done it. I've gotten a lot better than I used to be.
I know.
At least I don't be in there clanking that spoon and shit.
We can't all be as good as me, who grew up with a brother
But
and a
I seem like
family.
a rock, so that's a completely
No,
different story.
no, I'm quiet. If I was as loud as you wouldn't be sleeping like a rock. My prediction for 2024 is that every TV commercial will be legally obligated to feature Kevin Hart in some way. Because right
Yes.
now, I know that's not that bold a prediction because we're at 75% Kevin Hart, but I feel like we'll be at 100% Kevin Hart next year sometime
Yes, we
because
will.
I don't know if it's just if you watch sports and black TV shows like I do, it's just this nigga's in every commercial. He's
Everything.
selling me everything. It's
Yes.
gambling, it's credit cards, it's
It's
clothing,
no
it's
matter
everything.
what it is, he will pop up in that goddamn commercial.
So that's my prediction for 2024.
My next one is not really just a random thought. Like you said, I could come with anything, and I got some silk hairbands, and y'all, the pictures work. So I appreciate the silk hairbands for not tagging and tugging and pulling my hair out.
There you go. I see. It's looking good.
Thank you.
And that's it for my banter, really.
Oh.
I think. Well, I'll say this real quick. The Zion Williamson thing, I'll bring it up on Balls D Sports, but it's obvious to me, and maybe it's just me as a fat person. It's obvious that all this ranting and raving is just about people wanting to pick on him and call him fat because sports is the last place where you can actually rant about somebody being fat and laugh at them. And we have to act like it's okay because it's like, oh, you're an athlete and your body is part of being an athlete. It's not mean, whereas like somebody like Lizzo is running circles around the competition, is able to tour all year, clearly is in great shape, even despite her being fat.
Right.
Clearly is most people are not in the shape to do what she can do. And it's and while there are many people that laugh and talk shit, there's a lot more people that come to her defense and go, hey, leave her alone. Or there's like a contingent of people that goes, what does that have to do with anything? And there's a lot of people that celebrate her. But in the NBA, Zion Williamson, who I do not agree with this whole like he's fat, and I'm not saying there's no such thing as a fat basketball player. I think Sean May was fat, Mark West. There's been players, Oliver Miller, who've been fat and play basketball.
Right.
And we don't even want to get into like the actual reasons that people might be a professional athlete and know that in that capacity weight could be affecting their ability to play professionally, but still struggle with eating habits and stuff.
Right.
We don't want to get deep into it. So instead you just yell at them and be like, don't be fat, you fat piece of shit, blah, blah. And so Stephen A. Smith has put up like 4 different videos within like 48 hours this weekend to just like keep talking about him. And it gets to that point where it's like, you eat the whole buffet. That's no longer about like you're trying to get jokes in. Whether it's, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing he's,
And then after a while, it no longer becomes about him, it becomes about you.
Yeah, and it reminded me a little bit of Shaq. I remember when Shaq was in the league and he would come in to the season typically out of shape and then would play basketball until he got in shape basically, and then go try to win the championship at the end of the year. And what we're comparing Zion Williamson, what we're comparing him to is essentially a Zion Williamson theory, because we're not really comparing him to other players. If we're being honest, we're saying because he's played almost every game this season, he's averaging like 25 and 5, over 20 points and 5. And he's been playing well. He had like 1 or 2 bad games this whole season. And people are cherry picking the games. Well, he was fat. That's why he had 13 points one night. And like, well, he's averaging over 20 something, and he had 36 last night. He had 30 the night before. He had 13 or whatever.
That shit don't matter.
It's just we don't care about facts. We actually aren't concerned about his points, and they just want to pick on him for being fat. And it's just like a thinly veiled excuse to talk shit about fat person.
Correct.
Or fat people in general. Because like I said, Zion Williamson is a dude that would not be considered fat anywhere but basketball.
Right.
And even in basketball, I'm really not sure that that's true. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
And my last one is sexual sounding and racist drinks make me want to drink them more.
Mhm.
Like, I remember the first time I seen on the menu Sex on the Beach, I was like, you know what? I got to try it. And one of our favorite restaurants that's no longer here, they had a drink called Black Booty, and that shit was fucking delicious.
The Black Booty was good.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's inspired by me ordering the plantation pineapple today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went to Burton's. I love Burton's, and because Karen got off work early, so we had, instead of me cooking, was like, well, let's go out, and had a couple of drinks. So that's another reason the show ain't gonna be that long. Because Karen needs to sleep. You know how it is, guys. But one of the drinks was plantation pineapple, and I was looking at the different ones. I took a picture of it and said, please don't call me a coon for what drink I'm about to order, and I put it on Twitter, and I've been having fun with the responses. People have been laughing, and
it's been a ball in the comments.
Yeah, it's been a lot of reaction gifts, a lot of stuff like that, and then I respond and play up the joke. The waiter was white, which I didn't think about when I was like, I'm gonna order this, and then the waiter came over, and I'm like, I'll get the plantation pineapple. But it was good and worth it.
Oh, it was absolutely
when
delicious.
I started sipping, I said, oh Lord, this show is good.
I was about to say, do I need to get my tap shoes?
Let me get a second round, master. Okay.
I'm gonna say jazz hands. I got my favorite, the blueberry hibiscus. That shit is flames.
Yeah, people was leaving all kinds of comments. Cinnamon Love, who is a former adult film star who follows me.
Oh,
she said, I'm going to beat you. I said, promise? Not just someone else said, might as well call it nigger pineapple. That's valid. Yep. So I said, I just point to it instead of saying I thought
don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
So I said, I bet the waiter called you boy after you ordered it too. I said, I told him it was time to get off the Democratic plantation pineapple.
No, you didn't.
And he said, that's fine.
That's hilarious.
My first thought after reading the caption was to hit like on the post and think, come on, Rod, your black card is full. Ain't no way Then I read the menu and they put the Dr. Umar gift that goes, I beg your pardon. Someone put a picture of MLK that says stairs NAACP-ishly.
Oh
no! So I've been having fun. Someone asked, did I get my freedom papers? There's been a lot of good comments. I'm glad I shared it.
I'm glad you shared it too.
Because I'm sure I'm not the only black person been in this position before. You like, but that's what I want.
Yes, that's what I want. Like that restaurant that had that racist ass name. If I ever get a chance to try it, I'm gonna check my ass up in there.
Mm-hmm. So that's it for our banter. I guess we can go ahead and get into the show. That beat is so fire. Update on the Jonathan Majors trial. The driver is now testifying. Now, what is interesting is that the prosecution had said that the driver was going to testify that Jonathan Majors threw Grace Jabari into the he threw her like a football, and that's what the prosecution said he was going to say. But in at least in the testimony that he did, it was translated in Urdu, but he did not say that. The driver said Jonathan Majors was not doing anything and she was doing everything. According and this is what's going to be complicated about this.
It's going to be messy.
There's a chance that whatever happened that night, he did not do, or that it wasn't the way she portrayed
possibility. You never know,
because they, and that may, because I'm not gonna lie, when I saw those text messages, I said, why'd you go to trial?
Right.
If you knew these text messages exist, I don't even know what you fighting in court, because that's enough right there for you to lose everything, just because people are gonna be like, well, you do admit to at some point putting your hands on this woman and wanting her to lie to the hospital about it. But like I said, I'm always open to any possibility. I try not to just prejudge anything.
Agreed.
I'm wondering if his side is, well, she's lying about what happened that night. She beat me up.
That's probably why.
So even if there's previous stuff in this relationship that would make me look bad, that I am guilty of, or that may like,
that's why they was fighting hard not to get that shit in on the record.
Get what on record? Oh yeah, yes, get the text messages. Yes, correct.
Because in their mind, it was like, this is irrelevant.
Right. Like all we want to argue about is what happened that night, and we think we have compelling evidence that she was the aggressor and that Jonathan Majors did nothing wrong that night. Because we've heard the other leaks, and we'll see what is actually brought up in courtroom as evidence. Because once again, leaks ain't evidence. No, but we know his side has been leaked of. She went out to the club later. There's video of her from surveillance footage at the club and other places. She's not bruised. She's not hurt. He was the one that was hurt. He at some point, his accusation or leak in the press was she threatened to harm herself, and he had to go to the hotel with the or to the hotel room with security to like make sure she was okay. So, we'll see what happens with this, if that's going to be proven in court.
It's just a big ass mess.
Yeah, I think whatever happens is that last week's testimony is so damaging. I don't know how you continue to work with him, just because it won't matter if he didn't do anything that night. To a lot of the people that work with him, it's like, your reputation is so in the gutter, it don't matter that if. Or maybe I'm wrong. I thought similarly about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and I was wrong about that.
Right.
Because Johnny Depp, everything I saw, I was like, well, he did some of that shit. She did some of that shit, but it looks like she's the one paying the cost for that with her career, and it seems like he's kind of not. So I don't know. But on Monday, the assistant DA, Michael Perez, asked the driver if he had seen Jabari hitting the defendant, to which Sauer, who said he was looking straight ahead and described interactions only as they sounded to him, said, many things were happening. I had the feeling the girl had hit the boy. During the driver's testimony, the judge repeatedly emphasized, you can only testify to what is happening, not what you think happened. Speaking to it through his interpreter, Sauer said that he had stopped the car at one point and Majors had gotten out. He was trying to get rid of her. Perez directed the witness to please keep your opinions to yourself. He was trying to get rid of her, Sauer repeated. He was saying, leave me alone, I have to go. He was not doing anything. She was doing everything. He also noted that Majors was trying to throw her in the car when Jabari had attempted to follow him. He was trying to push her into the car, he said, adding that the couple eventually both left on foot. Which is interesting because that does go back to that throw like a football thing, even though apparently that's not what he said on the record. But it's interesting if the throw like a football was get off of me, I am trying to leave, as opposed to him trying to physically assault her or something.
Well, that's true.
This also feels a lot like that Johnny Depp shit, where it's gotten so toxic between the two of them at this point.
Everybody's doing shit.
That because and this is not a judgment of her per se, but whenever there's when we've been trained as a society to view the idea of abuse in a relationship as a thing that one person does to the other person and that is it,
right?
As opposed to there's no perfect victim. If a victim fights back, if a victim also does some abusive shit.
Yep.
We don't look at that as, it's like, well, now you're no longer viable to allege anything against the other person. So I don't know. The more we see of this, the less I think you're gonna see some cut and dry resolution. And I think the only thing that could have, if you're thinking about his career, the only thing that could save his career was to have a complete, this is 100% fabricated. I've never done anything.
And that's not going to happen because it's just a big ass mess.
And if you were looking to see him be not criminally, civil case, but civilly liable and all that stuff, I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Nope.
Because I think once you throw this at a jury that Well, she did some stuff to her. She may have made some stuff up. She may embellish some stuff. I think people really cannot handle the idea that a victim isn't just a innocent, I was home cooking dinner and he hit me type of victim.
Right.
DC is launching a real-time crime center to monitor surveillance cameras. Once again, the march towards the crime bill continues.
Yes, it does.
DC police will launch a state-of-the-art real-time crime center at a Metropolitan Police Department headquarters to monitor surveillance cameras around the clock. Now, they are dealing with like some pretty big like car theft right now.
Okay.
And I know I just saw the day where like a bunch of kids got busted in a ring of carjackings. I want to say it's like 10 kids or something, 10 people. I don't know that they all were kids, but
right.
You know, the point being like this is a real problem they have in their community.
Right. They feel like it needs to be addressed. Right.
Yeah, and it looks like
valid.
The answer is going to be more police or more policing.
Right.
But yeah, they will monitor these surveillance cameras. DC will make agreements with multiple law enforcement agencies who each will have staff at the center to share information in real time. It's like this is almost like Minority Report, but without the future telling thing, you know, just like a surveillance unit.
We real close to it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it just makes me think about this stuff because there's a black mayor, Muriel Bowser. This is a black city. There's been over 200 homicides in DC so far this year. More than 70% of those cases remain unsolved.
Ooh.
An FBI agent, a congressman, and an Amazon driver as some of the victims, included in over 900 carjackings in the city. That is a lot of carjackings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many it's supposed to normally be, but
that
sounds like a lot. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like a lot. Bowser was on Capitol Hill on Wednesday, briefing members of Congress on crime and other issues. She declined to say much about the new crime center. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. This is the big disconnect between social media and just life. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like this is the kind of thing that will get lambasted on social media and it'll seem as if no one asked for this, nobody wants this. And I really
the people in the community
feel like
because they're like, we got to live with this shit. Like they were like, we wake up every day dealing with this. Like we want, and a lot of it is we want this shit to stop.
Yeah, and it's like and then this is what I always feel bad about for the black mayors of these cities. They get elected, and then once they have to do the job, it becomes like you a coon now. Because part of the job is this.
Yes.
Like you can't be black mayor and be like, I'm not addressing crime. I'm sorry, y'all, but I don't care what the neighbors want. I don't care what the voters want. It makes me look bad nationally to have to do this. And I think that's why Keisha Lance Bottoms quit, you know?
Yes.
And I know people, and because you watch the cycle over and over. They come in, oh, black person, we love this. Finally, we support her in the vote. They had to start doing the job. I don't like that you're doing the job now. We thought we were just going to get hope and change and shit. And then they can't really take the national hit in the media of being seen as like some type of sellout. And I think they'd be like, you know what? Actually, I got the mayor job. I'm good.
Right.
I don't need to, like this part where like the police do some foul shit and now it's my job to help them be accountable and all this shit. Man, fuck that shit. I'd rather just go back home and maybe make a national bid for something, run for a state office.
Yeah, because
anything but this.
Once you got the job, even if you decide to stop doing it, your name is out there, and that's kind of the thing about it. And like you say, and it's funny how when it comes to policing, they don't want you to police white people. Like niggas don't commit crimes too.
Yeah, TPS says, nah, she's unpopular for a whole host of other shit way before this. And I'm saying, I'm making a macro point. It ain't just about her. It's all of them.
Yeah.
It's happening with Violals in Charlotte.
Yes, it is. Because people are not happy with her.
Once you start doing the job, it's easier to run for the job than to do the job.
Yes,
and once you start doing the job, if you have any other aspirations, I can see being like, let me just dip because is like, this is kind of like a thankless job. The next person will run like I did and be like, hey, ain't they terrible? If I did the job, I'd do it perfect. And then you gotta deal with shit like this.
Yes, you do.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with this cycle, because I feel like we are definitely going back towards 90s crime hysteria. This is not me saying we are anywhere near 90s crime levels. I listened to a podcast on the media the other day, and it was about the shoplifting crime epidemic media sensationalism.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, and how we actually did not have the shoplifting crime spree and this $47 billion worth of shrinkage.
Like that shit is made up, and they just sticking with that goddamn number versus.
But you know what's not made up? What's not made up? The fucking laws that are passed.
Yeah, them laws is real.
So people pass laws for crimes that are not truly happening.
Right.
Where crime is actually down. And yet the hysteria and the fear mongering and the news and the anecdotal crimes and how they all scare us all, that is real and tangible to people, even without it being like grounded in evidence. The human mind does not care. If you go, I know anecdotally, you know, 2 people that got carjacked, and I know you're scared on your block, and I know we're more fearful than ever because we know more than ever. But if I were to tell you crime is actually down, people go, I reject that. And I want stronger laws, more police, and people be locked up.
Regardless of if that's the fact and is that the truth, because and I understand, because people are moved by emotions, and sometimes that's not always a healthy thing, and people are moved by fear. And when people are fearful, people have a tendency to give up their rights. That's why we got the TSA. That's why we got some of the fucked up laws we have here in America now, because people were scared and they were fearful, and they just gave up all their motherfucking rights.
And I'm worried about that part. And while we, yell at everybody or tell people, while we're on Twitter all in agreement, because we're in Twitter on the house on our phones, the people in the streets being scared is a tangible thing that we have to find a way to alleviate. We know, and even bigger than this, we actually know that passing stronger laws and locking people up is not going to work.
And it does not solve the problem.
We know it doesn't work. And I feel like we're on the precipice of doing it again.
Agreed.
Now DC is kind of canary in the coal mine. That's where, the book Locking Up Our Own really concentrates on that area of the country. But everywhere Black people are in these urban areas is canary in the coal mine. And what happens in DC is just happening first. And it'll be, Atlanta built Cop City. It'll be in these other jurisdictions sooner or later, because as long as we are afraid of each other more than we're afraid of anything else, we will always empower the police to do the things they do. In Charlotte today, that I saw, they suspended that police officer that hit that girl 17 times on camera after they released the body cam footage today. And once again, I'm just like, I know we have a police department that's more liberal than most cities, but that could have easily, depending on how fearful our populace would have been at the time, that could have easily gone the other way. Because if you have a fearful populace, the police go, that's just what we have to do the job. And people in the community go, well, I'm scared of these other Black folks. Yeah, maybe they're right. Hit a woman 17 times. It's fine with us. They shouldn't have been smoking weed or whatever. And I think we're so dangerously close to that mentality without thinking about it. And so I don't know. It's of note to me when I see these articles like this, and I'm like, man, this feels like right before you start passing laws.
Yes, and the laws are going to be fucked up in the next 10 to 15 years. Everybody's going to look at each other and be like, this is fucked up, how we lost a whole fucking generation to these fucked up ass laws. All of a sudden, you pulling, I'm just keep it real, you're pulling Black fathers out of the household, you're pulling Black mothers out of the household, we're losing children because they got these fucked up ass laws, and everybody gonna be like, I don't understand how this happened, and the call was coming from inside the house.
Right, we're trying children as adults.
Right.
23andMe confirms hackers access 6.9 million users' data.
Goddamn.
Now what do you do with someone's DNA or like data?
sell it. And to sell it and create all types of account, opened up all types of accounts.
But like, what do you do when you sell it? Like, who buys it? Like, who's like, I need to get, can you get specific? I want Eric Adams' DNA results. Like, can you do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know what you would do with it. I mean, I guess blackmail the company or something, but yeah, I have no idea what you do with this data. That's all I'm saying. Like, it seems like a horrible violation, but also like, and, okay, and it's like if someone said they stole my DNA, my 23andMe, I would be less scared than if they said they had like my bank account route numbers and shit. Like, I'd be like, oh, scared.
I guess I need to call the bank and close my account.
Yeah, like what do I do? Change my password on your website? Like what do I do?
Right.
What, like, how a 2-factor identification on my DNA? Like,
right? That's a great question.
What does this mean? They got about half the data, 6.9 million people's data out of 14 million participants. So that's about half.
And what's so very frustrating about this, a lot of times they do these things sound nice, and then you realize they don't have the manpower nor the security. Like, they just collect shit and get shit and put shit in these places, and yet they're not protecting anything. And part of the federal government's job is to protect us from bullshit like this. Like, when they're grabbing people's DNA, nobody nowhere thought of, hey, this shit need to be protected. Because I guarantee you, they did not invest the money. Would not be surprised. They did not invest the money, nor the funds, nor hire the IT department. I guarantee you, somebody somewhere raised this question. They brushed that bullshit off like it wasn't nothing. And then this happens. And everybody goes, oops, I'm bad.
I just wonder what's going to happen. No. Inspired by online dating, an AI tool for adoption matchmaking falls short for vulnerable foster kids. So I guess there's an artificial intelligence tool. Thea Ramirez is the person, I guess, behind it.
Okay.
It can predict which adopted families will stay together. Ramirez
can't predict shit. People are people. People are X Factor. You don't know what people are gonna do. I don't even know how I'm gonna feel the next day. The fuck.
Ramirez claimed this algorithm, designed by former researchers at an online dating service, could boost successful adoptions across the U.S. and promote efficiency at cash-strapped child welfare agencies.
And you said it don't work, of course, because you're dealing with people.
I said it don't work. That's right. It falls short. We're using science, not merely preferences, to establish a score capable of predicting long-term success, she said in the April 2021 YouTube video about her ambitions to flip the script on the way America matches children and families. Y'all gonna be swiping left on children?
Apparently so.
Yeah, also, like, this is why I know this is a conspiracy and maybe it's not grounded in enough for people. I get this is a hot take. I feel like this artificial intelligence shit is a grift, man.
Yes, it is, because it can't do what y'all claimed it can do. It is, and the thing is, a lot of this shit still need goddamn manpower. Somebody has to watch it. Somebody has to monitor it. Somebody has to be there when the code is wrong and it fucks up and it predicts wrong. So you still need a human being to do it. Not to say that it won't ever get to the place where it becomes better and quicker and faster at predicting and be more precise. But overall, no, what they're claiming it can do, most of the time it cannot do.
It just feels like NFTs to me a little bit, like when, like, you ask people about NFTs and crypto, and it just assign nebulous things to it that it should be able to do or could do or theoretically is possible. But then often the reality always falls short. You know, it's Coinbase commercials now telling you basically, you know, it's somehow going to make up for the fact that student loan debt is out of control and inflation and shit. And you're just like, what specifically is Coinbase going to do?
Right.
You know, what am I supposed to do with a not FDIC secured money? What am I supposed to do if I lose my password? Like,
correct.
Like stuff like that where you're like, but and the same thing with crypto. I remember all the crypto commercials that celebrities have gotten sued about now.
Yes, they have.
But I remember all those commercials, and they would just promise whatever and essentially call you a bitch in the commercial if you were at home questioning it. You know, it's like, don't be like Larry David and question what the fuck crypto does for real. Just do it. And artificial intelligence, once again, I'm not saying it's impossible for it to be good.
Right.
Maybe we're just not there yet. But the things they say it can do, I'm like, it can't do it. Or if it does it, it doesn't do it even as well as a human.
Right. And as somebody who works with all these systems, that's B2B, that's electronic, where one system is talking to them bitches fuck up all the goddamn time, and somebody has to clean that shit all of the motherfucking time. So it's like, I completely understand people wanting to push for the future and people having these bright ideas. I get it. But a lot of times this shit can't execute. Do you know how many companies have got scammed out of somebody promising them shit that they can't do? Like somebody comes to a company and says, oh, we can do this imaging. We can do these great things, and kind of find out you get to it. You was like, well, bitch, I could have had a basic ass imaging system and paid a fraction of the price, but you promised me AI was going to do it all, and AI can't do shit.
Yeah, to me, it's just Theranos. It's promises that can't really be delivered on, but the promise is so alluring that people forget about the deliverability of it. It's like, if there's even a chance that a artificial intelligence could write a scripted TV show and we could get artificial intelligent actors to be in it, let's pay this person who promised us that. Let's pay them more than we would pay any actor, or any script writer, or any. And then you look up 5-10 years later and you're like, that never came to fruition, and what was produced was not as good. What the fuck just happened? And I feel like we're gonna have a slew of stories 5 years from now about ambitious artificial intelligence shit that never came to fruition because it's essentially, we don't have the technology to truly make it work yet. I'm not saying you shouldn't be scared, blah, blah. I know niggas love to be scared, but I'm just saying in general, how many of these stories are we gonna get where it's like, a government agency gave these people a lot of money. Someone invested in this. The money is the point.
Yeah, and
I don't think the product is the point. Like, if Netflix has a $900 million artificial intelligence job listing, someone is going to get the job because it's $900 million. Can they deliver on what Netflix thinks they want? It don't matter. I got my 900 mil. Oops, I gave it a try. I didn't get it. See you in jail. See you in court if you want the money back.
Right. And a lot of it's FOMO because a lot of companies don't want to be left out if something happens and it's a big thing. So a lot of times they'll throw all this money at it and want to sign up for it willingly because they're like, hey, if this shit hit, I don't want to be on the outside looking in.
More than FOMO, I think it's just greed. I don't think it's FOMO.
Agreed.
Like, oh, they doing it. So they're like the allure of never having to pay anybody again.
Yep, because
it's too strong for them to not consider. It's Disney putting those 4 AI quote unquote actors, and you look at the fucking results, and you're like, those are obviously terribly put in. Not even CGI, just terrible. Looks like max headroom graphics in the middle of this TV show. If you paid a cent for that, you overpaid. The fact that, but it's greed that makes them be like, but what if one day we could do that? And I think that's what's happening with these companies. And I think these people are grifting them. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, they're grifting them and taking their money because the thing is, the technology, I think, eventually will get there, but it is not there right now. So right now, it's a complete waste of money. But a lot of times they feel like you got to spend money to make money. So everybody's throwing their money with the hopes that they get whatever the next big thing is. Like you said, it's greed. I want to get whatever the next big thing is, and I want to be the first person. And so it's greed and FOMO. I want to be the first person. I want to be on top of it. I want to be on the cutting edge, whatever it may be. And it's the same thing. Not only with this, we can talk about smart cars. Yeah, people got the smart cars, but guess what? Them bitches are still hitting people and shit like that. So, out in California, they're having problems where, you call the thing and the thing stops a fucking block and a half away from where you told it to stop because it don't have enough sense to kind of go through regular ass traffic, shit like that.
Yeah, so they've already dropped this from Virginia and Georgia after trial runs, noting its inability to produce adoptions. though both states have resumed business with Ramirez's nonprofit called Adoption Share. So you still get the money.
Right.
Like I said, man, it's just interesting. And we're playing with people's lives here with this algorithm. It's I don't know. I find it very interesting. It reminds me a bit of the traffic light thing we had in Charlotte and other cities around the country. There was a big company that was like, we can put lights that stop and take pictures of people running the red lights, and then they automatically send a ticket to the person's house and da da da. And it turned out that it turned out, one, it caused more accidents than it stopped.
Yes,
because people were now acting in unpredictable ways, going in the red lights and stuff where they like slam on brakes and get slammed into from behind, because there needs to be a bit of human judgment in a four-way stop. Mm-hmm. And we all know the vibes. We all know the, like, if you're in the middle of the lane when the light turns red, you go ahead and make that left, homie.
Yes.
Don't just stay there. But when people see like, oh, I could get a ticket, all of a sudden they're following the laws too close and it doesn't work. And I think, and similarly, it cost the cities too much money because they were doing this because it would be easy to make the money. It costs too much money. You would just, instead of paying the money to police officers or whoever monitors those things, you're now paying it to some automated company who gets a management fee and stuff. And I don't know. I feel like this is that, but for adoption.
I agree. And across the country, they might have it in other states, but I know here they got rid of them shit because it was like, hey, dog, y'all, we literally cause accidents to go up because people fucking panic in the middle of the intersections. Like, it caused more problems than what it's worth, and it actually cost the city a lot more money than they fucking invested in it.
Tennessee scrapped the program before rolling it out, saying it didn't work with their internal system, even after state officials spent more than 2 years trying to set it up. And social workers reported mixed experiences with Family Match in Florida, where its use has been expanding. Well, it makes sense Florida would do it.
Yeah, because Florida don't give a fuck. But also, it's also one of those things where I have experienced this before. It is so... I'm not even in IT, y'all, but the people in IT... it has to be so fucking frustrating when people make decisions and they don't contact, speak to, or talk to the IT people to see if it's compatible, if it can be integrated, if it will work. They just buy shit and then tell IT on the backside, make it work. And IT is like, hey, yeah, dog, yeah, we getting errors. This shit don't work. Yeah, dog, you're gonna have to upgrade your plan. Yeah, dog, you're gonna have to expand this. And then I'm like, well, oh, fuck, we didn't know. Yes, because when you're making these financial decisions, you actually don't bring the people in the room that fucking matter, which is your whole goddamn IT department, which is going to have to deal with the consequences and the repercussions of the shit's not working and having these systems talk to each other and speak to each other. So I can imagine IT departments going, yeah, we don't make the financial decision. They just buy shit and then tell us to make it work on the backside.
So, yeah, they ended with Bonnie Goodwin, the University of Oklahoma child welfare data expert, saying, there's never going to be a foolproof way for us to be able to predict human behavior. There's nothing more unpredictable than adolescence. Yeah.
Of course. People are the X factor. You know what? And people wonder, why whenever they, make shit, they always have warranty. Like your daddy told me this, and I will forever remember this. He said, always buy shit a few years after it's been out on the market. He said, never buy shit when it's brand new. And I was like, why? He was like, the first few years is when the warranty is out. He said, because guess what? Nobody could have predicted that a child would actually get into a washer and tumble themselves in there. Nobody could have predicted that, but that happens. So now they have shit in there that weighs, but like, oh, it's a child in here. Don't fucking start this shit. Like, that shit doesn't happen because some scientist and something that's actually monitored and almost like free of human error can predict what will happen when you put people in it. People are a huge X factor. They can't predict what people would do. People would do shit that you would never have thought that they would do, but they do, and then you have to deal with the consequences of people being people.
Yeah. Also, I just think, like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I'm still getting a PlayStation 5 the day it dropped, so it is what it is, guys. I'm human and I'm unpredictable. Okay, I'm gonna always get the technology the day I can get it.
I'm not mad at you, but a PlayStation 5 ain't gonna kill you.
It took my dad 10 years to get a regular TV, Karen. We're not gonna hold that kind of stuff up over here.
Now your daddy is slow now. I'm not gonna lie, but we talking about like washers and dryers. We ain't talking about shit like that. That's different.
No, I want the cutting edge washer and dryer. If I gotta go buy one, give me the one that.
Give me one like my phone. My play, stop, pause, rewind.
Yeah, I don't agree with what you said. Literally a few minutes tops. Firefighter fired after stopping at Chick-fil-A instead of rushing a woman with chest pain.
Oh, yes, yeah. You didn't want that job, homie.
This also happened in Washington, D.C. This firefighter stopped to grab a bite to eat at Chick-fil-A after a woman having chest pains called for help just a mile away while he was on duty. He's been terminated.
Yes, I agree. Dog. You could have ate afterwards.
In a report first obtained by a local NBC affiliate WRC, 2 firefighters assigned to an ambulance in the nation's capital on March 24th were asked to respond to the call, but one claimed to have just placed the order for their meals over an app when the emergency came in.
You could have picked it up later.
That does suck. I mean, but I feel like Chick-fil-A would have let you eat for free, buddy.
They would have if you would have been like, hey, dog, like we was on our way, but we had an emergency call. Chick-fil-A would have been like, thank you for your service. Here's your meal on the house.
In an early investigation by local authorities, one of the firefighters allegedly wrote in his after incident report that they were at the fast food restaurant for literally a few minutes tops. After being fatigued from a long day, they were famished. The firefighter, whose name was not released by the department, reportedly emphasized that there was not a delay to the patient's care and response. How is that possible that there's not a delay? It has to be a delay.
Yes!
You didn't go. You went and got something to eat.
It has to be a delay. What are you talking about?
You're just lying at that point.
Yes.
Like, you do know the rest of us understand how time and chronology works, right?
Yeah, you should have put on your lights, caused everybody to move at the drive-through and took your ass down there. I'm sorry.
Like, I know people who are just chronically late in life all the time, and this firefighter sounds like them, the people that be like, I'm up the street, and you're like, you're 30 minutes away. No, you're never up the street when you're up the street.
Put it like this, and it was at Chick-fil-A. You know what Chick-fil-A would have did? They would have cleared the way straight there that mile. Like, Chick-fil-A employees would have been lined up all the way there to get them there. I know.
Now I'm wondering if he did show up and she was having chest pains and he was like eating half of his, number 6 combo. Like he's eating waffle fries and shit, being like, oh, okay, no, try to turn on your side. Hold on, they forgot my Polynesian sauce. We're gonna be right back, ma'am. You can hold it for a few minutes, can't you? Our official position as an individual is no longer working for DC Fire and EMS. I mean, that's pretty official.
You had to put out a whole ass statement.
It was reported that the firefighter was dispatched in his ambulance because he was closer than a medic in the same vicinity. The other firefighter on duty with the since fired individual has not been terminated while matter remained under review. Well, I mean,
Todd said it wasn't driving.
Huh?
Was it the person that wasn't driving?
We don't know. Okay. But I'm saying, like, how could... I mean, they're going to probably get in trouble, too, because, like, how could you not? You know what I mean? Like, you were there, too. He did something. You didn't, like, take the truck and drive yourself, so
right.
you know, you're probably in trouble, too. Like, is that the whole difference? Is like, yeah, but I didn't order. Like, you still...
I didn't order. That's hilarious.
You might as well. You still was in the truck taking too long.
Go ahead and order your chicken strips. We all gonna lose our jobs today.
At least they drove through the drive-thru with the lights on. Woo, 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 woo. Let me get number 5. Pepper jack cheese.
With the lemonade.
Woo, woo.
Polynesian sauce.
Yeah.
Or Polynesian sauce, as niggas like to call it.
That's new to me. The distressed woman at the center of the debacle was reportedly taken to an area hospital and treated the same day. So at least she didn't die. There's been no further comment about her condition, so maybe she did die. I don't know.
I hope not.
Man, that's crazy. Although it does make me think, new service, DoorDash EMS. Okay. We got Uber EMS, something like that.
You pay a little bit more.
Pay a little surcharge. You can get some medical.
The tips gonna matter on that one a lot.
Yeah, you definitely gonna want to tip before they show up. Get your medical service and you can get your food. Maybe Buddy just needed a Snickers.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, he's like, fuck that bitch, let her die. It's like, whoa, you're not you when you're angry. When you're hungry. Eat this Chick-fil-A. He's like, oh, let's go save her life.
I feel so much better now.
Yeah. All right. I told y'all this would be a short one. Let's do some guess the race and get out of here.
Okay.
My alcohol is kicking in. That plantation is kicking my ass, everybody.
I told you.
Okay. The plantation is whipping me like a, all right.
like a what, brother?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
Feel like I just tilled the lower 40 acres, if you know what I'm saying, everybody. All right. Father charged after toddler unknowingly brings a gun to a San Antonio preschool.
The child unknowingly.
That's a hell of a show and tell.
Scaring everybody in the room.
He was arrested after his 3-year-old son bought a gun.
3?
Well, he's one of these safe, responsible gun owners, guys.
3.
Okay? Everybody's a safe, responsible gun owner until they in the news. Then once you make the news, it's like, oh, I guess I'm not as safe as I could be. Pete Robles, 35, was charged with felony child endangerment after his child bought the gun in a backpack to pre-K 4SA West. Who cares what the address is? They don't have metal detectors, I guess, at that school. Or maybe that's how they caught him. I don't know. According to the press release from the school, the child was unaware of the firearm in his backpack. A teacher at the school confiscated the gun and notified the police.
The baby's 3. Of course the baby wasn't aware.
The 3-year-old... This is not funny, but it's funny. The gallows humor. Allow me this. It's like the world's youngest school shooter.
Yeah.
Like a 3-year-old can't even write a manifesto in crayon and shit.
Like, the ABCs are terribly written.
Right.
1, 2, 3. She was like, what is this?
Well, this is because America became too woke. And the blacks in the pure white area, man.
They just have a drawing of stick figures.
Right. According to the press release from the school, the child was unaware. The 3-year-old was placed in protective custody for child protective service. School has now temporarily suspended the use of backpacks because that's the solution.
The suspends backpacks?
Yeah, because the problem was backpacks, Karen. If you let the kids have backpacks, now they got
everything but the motherfucking guns. I'm surprised they ain't like all clear backpacks.
Well, that now kids can bring all their items in a clear Ziploc bag. That's what they can bring to school. And I guess 3-year-olds wouldn't have books yet, I guess.
Right, because everything is in their little desk.
So
right?
I guess, maybe they don't need backpacks.
Apparently at that age.
Yeah. Also, like, the other parents have to be like, fam, my kid can't wear a fucking backpack now because of your ass.
Right.
Like,
I can't pack my baby's lunch now. I got to put their lunch in a fucking Ziploc bag.
Right. Like, trash.
Right.
All right, Karen, guess the race.
Oh, that's 100% white.
Karen's going with white. Let's check the chat room, see what they believe. The race of Pete Robles is.
Robles?
No, Karen, you already guessed. Okay.
You act like I can't change my mind.
I mean, you can technically, but you did say, white already.
I can change.
Mary says Latino.
Mind.
Devil Bitch says white passing Latino.
That name sounds Latino. My bad.
Okay, you changing. Okay. El Chapito Latino says John Latino. The correct answer is, and I'm really proud of y'all for not saying the obvious, certain amount of liquid and backpack joke. The correct answer is Latino. that kid didn't know the gun was in there. Because if the kid would have known the gun was in there, it might have been different that day in preschool.
May have been.
Ain't gonna be too much washing people mouth out with soap up in this bitch. I know that.
Ain't gonna be no nap time today, bitch.
We all stand up. I don't feel sleepy.
I don't feel sleepy at all.
Dance, bitch, dance.
Yeah, that could have turned left real quickly.
Right. I want everybody show and tell. Run me on show and tell stuff. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, there's an error on that site. Okay, well, we won't be reading that one.
Okay.
Let's talk about more guns.
More guns.
Man who found a gun between couch cushions accidentally shot his friend in the face.
In the face.
In the face.
But you found it in the couch cushion.
Yeah. Woo. Listen. Only people I want to see get shot in the face is Cinnamon Love. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Come on. A money shot, not a gun shot.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Tennessee man.
That shot don't require bullets.
You know what I mean? Different type of shot.
You know, not unless it come out like bullets. Hey.
Tennessee man is behind bars after allegedly accidentally shooting his friend in the face with a gun he found on the couch. Homer Zelaya, 24, was arrested in Memphis on Monday, according to a probable cause affidavit reviewed by Law and Crime. Officers responded to a call about the shooting and found his friend Kevin Ariel Gonzalez with a gunshot wound to the face. Homer Zelaya told officers that he accidentally shot his friend Kevin with a pistol that he found between the couch cushions.
Why was it there in the first place?
They were hanging out in the living room when he found the gun between the couch cushions and started messing with it and waving it around. Okay, if you're messing with it, waving it around, how much? Accidental's doing a lot of work here.
Yes, it is.
See, when they said accidental, I thought maybe he was fishing for the gun in the couch cushion and it accidentally went off.
Yes.
Like, oh, I thought it was the remote. But once you start waving the gun around at each other, like, that's just shooting somebody. The gun discharged and hit Kelvin Ariel Gonzalez. Zelaya reportedly told police that he had then hid the gun in a drainage ditch close to the apartment. Well, yeah, you definitely want to put that somewhere that another unsuspected person might find and shoot someone in the face. Ariel Gonzalez was taken to the hospital while Zelaya was taken into custody. He has not been charged he has been charged with reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon and tampering with or fabricating evidence. Karen Gesterace.
Oh, Latino.
All right, let's check the chat room, see what the chat room says. Karen's already gone double Latino here in a row. Okay. Man, another responsible gun owner left that in the couch somewhere. You know how you're supposed to store it. Hopefully there were some children around. Maybe an animal or two. El Papa of the previous kid, Latino, point blank accident. Latino. Latino. Everyone's going Latino on this one. No accidental Latino. The correct answer is Latino. Yeah, I've never heard the last name Zelaya before, or the first name Homer. Hollemer. That's new.
That's
to me.
A name.
I don't know. I mean, I guess y'all got it from the context clues of his friend being Latino.
Mm-hmm. That's how I picked up on it.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, I would have missed that one. But all right, let's go to the bonus round. So far, Karen is actually 2 for 2.
What time is that? That bitch was white. I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to guess the
Gold
race.
teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big guy, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
After being caught having fully nude sex on a Florida causeway in front of children and other witnesses.
Oh, what's a causeway?
Probably some type of street or
Okay.
walkway or something.
No problem.
That's the part that you needed to know about.
Well, this
Causeway.
is in public.
It is a raised road or track across low or wet ground.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Like a speed
I
bump.
know it's very important to guess the race. You got to know exactly what type of place it was taking place on.
Thank you.
A woman told cops it was always a dream of mine to engage in such a public tryst, while her male companion showed zero remorse when caught. After receiving multiple 911 calls around.
Y'all was so fucking loud. People was like, I don't know what's happening, but people are having sex.
Not loud. It sounded like people were watching them. That was part of the thrill for them, is being watched, even with kids around. It was 9 p.m. Friday. I wonder if they were having sex and people were like, in front of my kid, I'm calling 911. And then they were like, what is your kid doing out here watching people have sex at 9 o'clock on a Friday? You are a bad parent. I'm calling CPS on my 911.
You are a bad parent.
While I have sex.
In a public place.
They were having fully nude sexual intercourse in the presence of the victims. Also, fully nude is, I mean, no pun intended, that's some balls. Fully nude in front of everybody?
This is a porn?
You took all your clothes off?
All of them, dog.
Wow.
Butt ass naked.
Wow. Wow. On the side of the causeway, cops found Sarah Fazekas
and all their clothes scattered across the side of on the side of the road.
Sarah Fazekas, 55, and Robert Clark, 60. They're both the same race. Fully nude on top of one another. Clark, cops say, was on his back with his genitals fully exposed. Oh, so she was cowgirling it. A witness,
maybe reverse cow. We don't know.
Yeah, a witness described the pair's encounter as a crack to sack going to town.
Not a crack to sack. That's a hilarious ass description.
How have I never heard crack to sack before in my life?
In my I was like crack to sack.
Crack to sack? What? Crack to sack sounds like some slang that frat boys use.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah, bro. I was going to crack the sack up in there, bro. I was getting it in, man. Talking balls to the wall.
You know me and Sarah, we went that crack the sack, sir.
I'm talking testicles to lips, bro.
Balls deep, crack the sack.
Crack the sack. What? Oh, only Florida do you get on 911. And when they're like, can you describe what's happening? You be like, they going crack the sack, going to town.
And everybody was like, what? I don't understand.
Get the sheriff out here immediately. They going full crack the sack. This is disgusting.
You confusing the 911 operator because I'd have been like, what, sir? What does that mean?
They going pole to hole. You know exactly what I mean. They going the full thing. They doing it all. I'm talking dick to click, right in front of my child.
Right in front of my salad. I don't know what's happening.
Literally. At least right in front of my salad, they kept some clothes on.
Right.
They said while being taken into custody, Fazekas stated, "This is always a dream of mine." To
go crack the sack. That's always been a dream of yours.
Yeah. Well, it's public sex.
Okay.
Surrounded by water, the causeway offers spectators views of St. Joseph's Sound. It got a lot of views that night.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the exposure of sexual organs count, Fazekas was hit with a felony narcotics charge. At the cops found clonazepam pills inside an Altoids container in her purse. What? Drugs was involved in this?
You don't say.
I am shocked. Shocked. Not that shocked. Clark cops say, Clark is the guy's last name.
Mm-hmm.
Clark, cops say, showed zero remorse that multiple juveniles had witnessed the act. He also reportedly declared that the children should be at home and not on the causeway. Ding, 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 ding.
You was right, baby.
I said that.
You're right.
That was what I said.
Yeah, that's like what y'all doing out here.
That's right. That's right. Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Oop, what was that again? Oh, yeah, Rod was right. Rod was right.
That's hilarious.
Rod for the win.
Yes, you got that right, sir.
Clark was charged with lewd and lascivious exhibition of felony. He is being held in the county jail in lieu of $50,000 bond. Man, that's a lot. He's also been ordered to have no contact with children. I hear what y'all saying, and maybe it's the right thing to say, but also like, I think it's weird because he's not like fucking children.
Nope.
I mean, it's not good what he did,
No,
but
it's not.
it feels like a different category than what
A different crime. Yes.
like y'all about to put him in a different kind of like sexual predator category that maybe he hasn't earned yet. I'm just saying. And I only say earned because that's how JL Covan would put it. Okay, he's a huge advocate. I'm surprised one of the Rain on parades, I'm sure, will be about, defending the pedophiles. Clark is a registered sex offender who, hold on. Now, wait a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, then
wait a minute.
That's probably why they passed that law then. Okay. That's probably, I'm not passed, but that's why they tagged that one.
Right.
Yes.
Talk about burying the lead. This ain't his first offense.
They should have opened with that. What are we talking about?
So he's a sex offender who pleaded guilty in 2009 to a federal child pornography charge.
Oh,
that's why he can't have no contact with children. Well, yeah,
and that's why it was a problem with him fucking.
He deserves to be on the list.
Yes,
Rod was wrong. At the time of his arrest, Clark was.
You were right about him saying why the kids out here,
right.
But you was wrong.
But we can't trust him.
No, we can't trust him as the witness.
Yeah, we can't trust it. We can't take his word for it.
We cannot.
Why the kids out here? This ain't, unless they want to join, like, I don't know.
No.
A search of his work computer turned up a series of illicit images, which he admitted he viewed for self-gratification. After copying to the federal count, he contended that the child porn images were to him a fantasy world, and he would never cross the line to hurt any child. He was sentenced to 78 months in prison. He was also ordered to serve a life term of probation following the release from custody. Oh, he's going to jail.
What's a life term? What? Are you looking at me like I'm crazy? 25 years, I'm assuming?
He was ordered to serve a life term of probation following.
So that means until he dies?
That's what life means, baby.
No.
It didn't say 25 to life. It just said life.
No.
What else could it mean?
No problem. I just want to be sure because sometimes... Never mind.
Okay. Because then you say 10 to life. Or like you say a lower number than you say life to mean it could mean 10 years or it could mean life.
Right.
They only said life. Okay. So he's serving a life term of probation.
No problem. So that means until you die, you're going to be on probation.
Yes.
Oh, okay. No problem.
All right. So guess the race of this couple.
Everybody white. This is white people shit. The fuck is this?
All right. Karen said white for the race. So let's check the chat room, see what they believe the race is. There's always a little bit of delay, so we give a second for it to come in.
Yeah, I'm sorry my brain was slow, but that didn't make sense. I was trying to put it together.
You had a sip of the plantation too, so
I did.
I know you on the plantation in the mind. Doing it like they do on Discovery Channel, crack the sack, balls to walls, white. Meth to sack, meth to sack, white sack. I think this is white, even though they spelled it 8. Crackers pounding their sackers.
That's hilarious.
Raised a white flag for white. Oops, white. Didn't know I couldn't do that, white. The correct answer is white. The way this man knew he had probation for life.
Yes.
And was also not remorseful. It's wild as fuck to me.
Yeah, and I guess my mind couldn't comprehend that because it's normally like they normally throw a year in front of it. That's why when you said it, I was like, wait a minute, what does that mean?
No, Karen, you'll never have a good enough excuse for that. Let's just it didn't happen and move on. There's no need to revisit that.
There's no excuse, my
you'll
bad.
Never be able to explain it.
I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm sorry, y'all.
Toronto incel terrorist was sentenced to as an adult to life in prison after he murdered a Toronto spa worker.
Oh no!
But this article is exclusive to subscribers. Yeah, so he was 17 years old, but he's sentenced as an adult. He's sentenced to life in prison because he killed a spa worker and mother Ashley Arzaga in 2020. So it's bad when Canada's doing this, because Canada is typically not one of those punitive places like we are.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, good for them, and take it serious. You should go to jail forever. Fuck them. All right, y'all, that's it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back possibly tomorrow. If not, we'll see you Saturday. Thanks for listening. Leave us 5-star reviews. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.